Prime Minister strengthens bilateral ties after visit to Brunei Darussalam. Political intervention and censorship highlighted on World Press Freedom Day. Previous winners share positive impact of Women in Business Awards as 2026 applications launch. Rugby players begin training for second round at competition trophy. Welcome back to RTTL World News. I'm Zeri Madeira. Prime Minister Sanana Gusmao and his delegation visited Brunei Darussalam earlier this week to strengthen ties and cooperation between the two countries. Brunei Darussalam committed its support to Timor-Leste's ASEAN integration, including its chairship of the ASEAN Summit in 2029.
Two ASEAN leaders strengthening a long-standing bilateral relationship. This is Prime Minister Sanana Gusmao's third visit to Brunei Darussalam, his first since Timor-Leste's accession to ASEAN last year.
We are committed in contributing to peace, stability and shared prosperity.
Timor-Leste joined ASEAN not only simply as an observer, but as a participant and, importantly, as a contributor, ready to strengthen our collective resilience and help shape the region's future.
Timor-Leste hosted Brunei's Sultan for bilateral meetings in 2024 in Dili, a visit that Prime Minister Gusmao said reflected the strength of ties and goodwill between the two countries.
Brunei Darussalam plays an important role in our region. Through your leadership and your commitment to ASEAN, Brunei Darussalam has contributed to peace and prosperity across Southeast Asia.
During the visit, 3 memorandums of understanding were signed covering energy, health, and the establishment of a mechanism for bilateral consultations.
Brunei has consistently supported Timor-Leste's membership of ASEAN, and we will continue to offer our assistance and in whatever way we can as you embark on this important journey. This includes our full support for Timor-Leste's preparations to assume the ASEAN chairmanship in 2029.
The Timorese delegation also explored potential cooperation in fertilizer production, agriculture, industrial development, and food security while in the country. RTTL World News.
Timor-Leste has ranked 30th in the World Press Freedom Index, a 9th-place jump from its 2025 ranking. Despite the celebratory mood, local reporters and media advocates warned that a rising wave of political intervention and invisible censorship continue to undermine press freedom in the young country. Celebrating progress while honoring sacrifice. Timor-Leste's Press Council and Journalists Associations gathered early this week to celebrate the World Press Freedom Day and pay tribute to those who died for the cause of truth. Timor-Leste climbed 9 spots in this year's World Press Freedom Index to rank 30th globally, the highest in the Southeast Asian region.
This shows a great progress, so we must work harder to provide freedom of the press in Timor-Leste and do not limit our freedom of the press in Timor because the media is an important pillar in a democratic country, especially to avoid censorship of news that is to be published, and this is a danger to our freedom of the press.
However, this year's ranking is a drop from Timor-Leste's highest ever ranking of 10th just 3 years ago, and journalists continue to report instances of government intervention and censorship. RTTL journalist João da Costa has even faced the courts for his reporting on security, defense, and crime.
The challenge I face is sometimes when I report on some cases, I often receive intimidation and threats. I was once taken to court for a story I did for RTTL about the sexual abuse case against a minor.
Others say sources with political connections often try to control the narrative, influencing what questions can and cannot be asked by journalists.
More often, talents who have political and economic powers use their powers to impede our work as journalists. They often stop us from asking questions and writing stories about the issues that our newsroom wants us to cover.
We often speak of the freedom of the press, but some leaders impede our freedom by using their powers.
While Timor-Leste's Press Council highlighted the vital role journalists play for a democratic society.
I'm calling on the public to respect the journalists' work. These journalists work closely with talents, especially those in government offices. Open the doors for them because government officials are their most important talents for their story.
The journalist associations are urging journalists to stay true to their mission.
I call on all journalists to remember their mission and strictly uphold the code of ethics because a thriving democracy depends on us.
The journalist profession union are also concerned the low pay might affect the quality of the journalist's work.
I think we also need to think of the well-being of the journalists because most of the time the journalists get a very low pay and it can affect their work.
Members of the National Parliament also congratulated journalists amid celebrations and urged fellow politicians to respect their work.
I'm calling on politicians and government officials not to avoid journalists and do not hide from the media. For the journalists, I encourage you to stay true to your mission and tell the truth.
Timor-Leste may be climbing the global charts, but in the newsroom, the fight against invisible censorship is far from over. Zeri Madeira, RTTL World News. Celebrating women's excellence in entrepreneurship and leadership, the Business Women's Association of Timor-Leste officially opened applications for the 2026 Women in Business Awards on Monday. Following the launch, RTTL World News reporter Paulina Quintown met with previous winners to learn how their businesses have evolved.
Patricia Madalena Mendes won the inaugural Women in Business Award 2 years ago. Ms. Mendes said the recognition has opened more doors for her business.
My connection became wider because I've been to Australia after the award to promote my products and also Singapore, and many people are interested in my products. And one of the companies now sells my chocolate products on its online shop.
Her opportunities for collaboration have increased, with more farmers now providing raw materials for her chocolate, cocktails, and local sausages production.
Many farmers reached out to me after I won the award, so now I work closely with the farmers from Bikeke, Same, Ermera, and Lekisa.
However, Ms. Mendes noted that obtaining official product certification remains a significant challenge.
It's not easy to get certification in Timor. We need to go to different institutions. I have submitted all the required documents and samples. I hope I can get the certification this year.
Currently, Timor-Leste doesn't have suitably equipped food testing laboratories available for product certification. Meanwhile, last year's Women Corporate Leader winner, Anna Xavier, is preparing to travel to New Zealand later this month. She will participate in the Young Business Leaders in Technology Forum.
The award is not just about the trophy that we take home. It opens doors that connect us to networks, mentorship, and opportunities we never imagined we would have.
Timor-Leste's president commended the initiative for its role in empowering female entrepreneurs.
Congratulations for this award initiative, and It provides visibility. When you provide visibility, mean you are encouraging, supporting, recognizing the effort, the sacrifice of instill in them confidence, and they create employment.
President José Ramos Horta announced the actions he plans to take to promote and support women's business.
I have decided I'm going to do some letters addressed to the Prime Minister, to the ministers, secretaries of state, informing them that there are flowers available from these groups, giving them their numbers and their email or whatever, so that they order flowers from these women.
There is a growing number of businesswomen in Timor-Leste, but access to financial resources remains a challenge to expanding their businesses.
Empowering women is not only the right thing to do, it is central to building sustainable and resilient economies. I would therefore encourage all eligible women, who lead businesses in this country, professional women leaders and organizations who also support women's economic empowerment, to step forward, share your stories, and apply.
As for Patricia, winning the award has helped her secure financing from the bank to expand her business.
Regarding the funding, it is easy now because now they trust me more, and it helps me expand my business.
There are 5 award categories, which includes the category for women in financial services.
There are categories for financial institutions which offer loans especially for women, and there are banks which won this because they offer specific loans for women.
Currently, we are working with the central bank to strengthen the legal framework and develop new legislation to help women in micro, medium, small business to access loans. And we also provide these women with capacity building to prepare them to be clients of banks through financial management, planning, and others.
For Patricia and Anna, the award is far more than a trophy. It is a vital platform that boosts their visibility and empowers women-led businesses to boost national economic growth. Applications for the 2026 Women in Business Awards will remain open until July 4. Pauline Quintown, Sonia Madeira, RTTL World News.
The International Finance Corporation under the World Bank Group is once again hosting the 2026 Women in Business Awards to recognize the growing contribution of women entrepreneurs to the national economy. As nominations open, RTTL World News reporter Vicky Madeira spoke with Grant Harris about the importance of celebrating women-led businesses and building long-term opportunities for women across Timor-Leste.
Mr. Graham, the World Bank Group has supported the award since 2024. Why is a recognition program like this important?
IFC, as part of the World Bank Group, believes very strongly in creating jobs and also in removing the barriers that women may face in terms of their economic development. So if you see many of the award winners over the past 2 years, they work in sectors that are critical for job growth, including tourism, retail, agriculture, technology, and financial services.
Recent data shows women lead nearly 50% of micro, small and medium enterprises in Timor-Leste. How does formalizing and celebrating these businesses contribute to the country's goal of economic diversification?
What we're trying to do through the Timor-Leste Women's Award is to give individual recognition to women that have done great things, either in business or in corporate roles. So we look to recognize individual women in the good work that they have done as entrepreneurs, also as corporate leaders. We look to recognize organizations that have done good work in terms of women inclusion and supporting women's role in the economy. And I think very importantly, beyond the individual winners themselves, is the role model effect that they create. So all of the women that are winners, and actually all of the finalists, they have wonderful individual stories, challenges that they have been through and beaten those challenges. And having those stories to share with women, children, girls, boys, and also men is very powerful as in terms of a role model effect.
The International Finance Corporation is under the World Bank Group. How does its programs reach women in remote municipalities outside of Delhi?
Absolutely. So the World Bank Group and also our partners, AMTL, governments of Australia and New Zealand, high priority is also to support the municipalities. So we have ensured through the awards active participation of women in municipalities. During the past 2 years, we have had winners from Baokao, Suai, Bobanaro, Ainaro, in addition to Delhi. Prior to the launch this week in Delhi with the President, there was also an event, a pre-launch event last week in VKK. So very strong focus in terms of promoting the awards outside of Delhi and also in terms of encouraging nominations from outside of Delhi.
The 2026 awards feature 5 categories, including startups and corporate leaders. Which of these sectors does the World Bank view as key to Timor-Leste's growth?
I think all of the categories reflect kind of priorities that are important. The categories include kind of financial inclusion for women, business ownership and startup, corporate leadership, financial innovation, and also kind of role model. So many women from different kind of roles, different corporate, entrepreneur, and so on, can apply for the awards. And I think, if I may, we would like to encourage women, but also men who know of deserving women to nominate or encourage women to nominate themselves.
10 years from now, what do you hope the legacy of the Women in Business Awards will be?
We have established it as an annual event. I very much hope that it will continue to be held each year. And as the years go by, we expect to see an increased number in applications, some great quality applications, and really to continue to kind of serve that role of identifying and recognizing deserving women and really creating that opportunity for those women to be role models for other girls, women, boys, and men.
Thank you for talking with RTTL World News.
Thank you very much.
A Victorian woman with multiple sclerosis has become the first person to complete the world's longest off-road cycling trial in an electric wheelchair. Claire Rayleigh, with the support of her family, made the 1,000-kilometer trek to raise money and awareness around the disease.
Rolling into Albany after 26 days in the bush, with a new record in tow.
Well done.
Claire Riley is now the first person to complete WA's Mundabiddi Trail in a wheelchair.
The track was rough,
and I actually hadn't even thought about it before we started, so I had no expectations.
The Victorian explorer tested by the conditions on the 26-day journey from Mundaring to Albany.
I just knew that it was a bike trail, and because it was a bike trail, it had to be designed for wheels, and as a wheelchair user, I needed a wheel-friendly trail.
A journey that required special equipment.
They make them production in America, but I did ship it over to Australia.
And a supportive family.
I will just happily go along with anything that she wants to do, adventure-wise.
Even if it brought a few nervous moments.
The most challenging for me is watching her on some of the more technical parts of the trail. Sometimes the rig was a bit unstable, so for me it was like, oh my God, I hope she doesn't fall out.
I feel as though everyone knows someone who has had MS, or they know someone who knows someone. Everyone's got a connection, and there was a lot of conversations I found, particularly when we entered through towns.
The intrepid traveller hoping her journey will educate others.
As household budgets are squeezed, seedling growers say the demand is growing with simple garden beds, giving people some control over their food bills. Gardening experts say a low-cost, no-dig garden bed can save people up to $50 a week on their grocery spend.
In Hobart, volunteers help keep the 24-carat veggie patch thriving.
Today we've planted some peas, planted some garlic, and we've also put in a green manure crop as well.
Each week, fresh produce is sent to the school lunch program. For home gardener and volunteer Sarah Chugg, it's a source of inspiration.
It's easy to think that there's a wrong way to do it, but there's not really, and you just keep learning from your mistakes. I've definitely learnt from a lot of mistakes, and I learned some new things here as well.
A recent national survey cites cost of living pressures as the main driver of food insecurity. With grocery prices high, more and more people need food relief, and they're looking for cheaper ways to feed their families.
As soon as we saw the petrol prices go up, we just noticed a significant number of people, our orders increased fivefold, and we're having trouble keeping up.
Once set up, the experts say growing your own can save money.
I've read that people can save about $50 a week on vegetables if you grow your own. You don't need to spend that much time to do it.
Horticulturist Louise Sales recommends creating a no-till garden bed. To do this, you'll need to pick a sunny spot and lay some compost. Cover the area with cardboard to suppress weeds. Add mulch like pea straw or aged grass clippings or horse manure. And finally, create pockets on top of this and plant into them.
Broad beans are a really great crop to get in. They're really reliable, and they also actually feed the soil.
If you plant those broad beans now and some winter lettuces and broccoli seedlings, they'll be ready in winter. And garlic takes that little bit longer, that'll be ready in late spring.
I cook a lot at home too, so it's convenient to always have herbs and leaves and green things always in the garden. We don't have to have bunches of herbs in the fridge going bad.
More digging leading to less spending.
Last year, the Delhi Rugby Club competed in its first international competition in Jakarta. This year, the teams are preparing for their second round at the trophy as the female team trains to compete in the sevens competition, while the men will be playing tens.
In rugby, physique and technique are important, and short practice matches test their players' skills. This week, both men's and women's teams held their final training sessions before competing in Jakarta later this month. Coach Mick Bailey is confident in his teams.
I'm quietly confident we're going to get some good results in Jakarta and play some really good rugby. And last year, both teams got really good results. So yeah, definitely I think there's competitiveness here and there's potential for the future.
Last year was Delhi Rugby Club's first time playing abroad, where teams of Timorese and foreign players managed a semi-final finish. The team captains are proud to be playing the sport, which is new to Timor-Leste.
I'm very happy to be selected to compete abroad. As a captain, I'm very happy and honored to lead the team to compete in Indonesia, and our team is ready to compete.
Rugby is one of great sport for me because it's not only about building your skill, building your strength, but I think in rugby we play like family.
Mr. Vaz promised his team will give their all in this year's competition.
Our goal is to give our best and representing our country with pride, and also hopefully we can achieve a strong result for our club. Yeah.
If I can see development from this year to last year, I'll be very impressed. But I'm already really proud of the young men and women that have come forward.
The Dili Rugby Club hopes to capitalize on the players' enthusiasm and work with the Ministry of Sport and Culture to get more support and establish an official rugby federation.
And until today, we didn't receive any support from the government. So we hopefully one day we can receive the support from the government.
There's a lot of challenges. There's a few barak. For us, for a club trying to start out, one of our initial challenges was trying to find a place to train and actually play rugby.
For the coach, the involvement of Timorese players is important.
I think Timor has a bright future if they commit to rugby.
As the sport gains growing support, the players at Dili Rugby Club are proving they are ready to tackle any challenge that comes their way. Vicky Madeira, Lida Martins, RTTL World News.
And now the weather, starting with Dili. Partly cloudy with afternoon showers, a top temperature of 32 and a low of 25 degrees. Hot and overcast in Baucau, temperatures ranging between 34 and 24 degrees. In Lotem, mostly cloudy with a couple of morning showers, a high of 28 and a low of 23 degrees. Cloudy and humid in Bobonaro, a shower throughout the day, a top temperature of 26 and a low of 20. And in Aileu, overcast and humid with a brief shower or two, temperatures ranging between 26 and 18. Now looking abroad, partly sunny, breezy and humid in Kupang, a high of 33 and a low of 25. In Bali, morning showers, otherwise humid and cloudy, temperatures ranging between 32 and 26. In Jakarta, partly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms. In the afternoon, a top of 33 and a low of 25. Sunny and pleasant in Seoul, a high of 22 and a low of 12 degrees. In Darwin, breezy in the morning with showers in the afternoon, temperatures ranging between 34 and 24 degrees. Mostly cloudy in Sydney with occasional rain in the afternoon, a high of 21 and a low of 16 degrees. In Lisbon, heavy showers in the morning, clearly in the afternoon, with temperatures ranging between 19 and 13. Mostly cloudy in London, a top temperature of 13 and a low of 7. And rain in Belfast, a high of 13 and a low of 6. Thanks for joining us again on the program. RTTL World News will be back with more stories on Thursday. Bye for now.